What is going on, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the 2 Cents Footy Podcast. My name is Azanm Abdallah, and as usual, I'm joined by my co-hosts. Let's start with the party man himself, Luke Johnston.
What's happening, guys? Trying to get some vibes here. You guys are a little bit static in the back there.
I'm just appreciating the scenery in your room, bro.
Yeah, I can't turn it off, Jess.
Look, that's a lot.
Guys,
There's
I
a
can't
lot
turn
that's
it off.
going on behind you.
Guys, I literally can't turn it off, guys. I'm not even joking. Anyway, I'm good.
You've got the
as
Twitch
usual.
streamer set up.
Jess, I literally can't turn this stuff off. Otherwise, okay, it's fine. We'll just party the whole time, guys, because we've got some mad new content. You can tell your grandmas, you can tell your grandpas, you know what I mean? Here we go, guys. It's a surprise. It's a party up here. But yeah, guys, 100% chilling, sorted. Week in, week out.
Thank you for
Dude,
bringing the
Hayden
energy,
just
Luke.
looks so touched, bro. Hayden's disappointed in Luke right now, dude.
I don't think Luke has ever disappointed me more than he has done in this moment. So yeah, I think
did not disappoint you more when we won the Champions League. Like the
No,
last few times?
cheesy.
Luke, you disappoint
Bro's
me
coming in
every
left, right,
single
and
moment
centre,
of your
man.
existence, but this one takes the cake.
Hayden, you're just salty that you've got some crusty lights. That's one light that's above you, bro. We like some variety.
You know, Luke,
in Africa, bro. We want
some
some
of us are
flavor.
going through tough times that are lasting, eh? There's no need to cover our lights.
I don't know, Dad.
I mean, he didn't
Zach,
have
you guys
lights,
you
like,
have the microphone.
15 minutes ago.
You got.
Yeah, dude, let's not even start about that. But it's apparently because our heaters are, the heaters in our rooms are taking up too much power, so we have to ration the how often we use them, else they trip the mains or whatever.
That's
I'm
such
not
a
an
theme
engineer.
in our podcast, just us not having electricity. Like, I feel like we bring it up at
We're
least
still
once
waiting
every
for
like
our
5 to
homies,
10
guys.
episodes.
Yes.
Yeah, once a season you just hear about people having like no electricity and not being able to attend the podcast.
Yeah.
You know, guys, I
bad,
don't
yeah.
have load shedding here. I don't have load shedding because I'm on the hospital grid. It's beautiful.
You know, Luke, why don't you go suck
Love you,
an egg?
Hayden.
You know, why don't you go do something
Take that
productive
UCT,
and practical and
Take
suck
that
an
Cape
egg?
Town. Take that residence.
Yeah, because Bloemfontein is so amazing. Moving on. I say that coming from East London. We have Daniel Pike.
Yeah, what's up, everyone? If you haven't heard me already, I'm doing splendidly. Happy to be on the podcast as always. And happy to have electricity, but unfortunately, PE is struggling on the water end. So we've barely got load shedding nowadays in PE, but conserving the water is like another issue.
Yeah, it do be like that. If it's not the one thing, it's the other. And speaking of the other, Hayden Anderson, as the other member of my family on this podcast, how are you doing?
Well, I'm not dead, so I can't complain really too much in that regard because I have to appreciate the fact that I'm alive. So yeah, I mean we won some silverware, so that's great. that's always uplifting. And I mean it's always spectacular if I really think about it, because I mean not only did we destroy Manchester City 3-1, but with this victory, if we take metrics established
My word.
by sour
It's like
Manchester
the
United
fifth time
fans,
I've heard this, Hayden.
Liverpool now have more trophies overall than Manchester United, 67 to 66. If we use if we include the Community Shield, which we probably shouldn't, because it's not really a trophy, it's just a glorified friendly, and I'm willing to admit that. But United fans insist on using it because it gave them the edge. But now, according to all metrics that we can use, Liverpool is the most successful club in England. So
This guy sounds so insecure.
suck it.
Congratulations.
According to all
Hayden.
metrics, since 1942, we have the most trophies. But it's a flex, Hayden. It's a flex. Bro.
According to all metrics, last year's Premier League, last year's Champions League.
I'd also like to just clarify.
When was the last time you won a trophy, Daniel? 2006?
Well,
2007,
they're
the
coming
League Cup?
soon. They're
According
coming
to all
soon now.
metrics,
Hayden.
you've got
They're coming
0
soon.
trophies, Dad.
Are we sure that... Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Are you sure what?
The article I just
say
read.
What you're gonna say,
was,
Zach.
was
Speak.
The article I just read.
Speak.
Was
Guys, Liverpool is the GOAT. Liverpool.
Thank
is
you,
the
Google,
GOAT of
for
the
giving me
Prem.
outdated articles first on your search platform.
Liverpool is the
Thank
GOAT.
you.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it while trying to record a live podcast.
Does
Anyway,
it put you in your place, Zach? Does it
What?
make you feel good?
What?
Does it put you in your place?
What?
My man's trying to change the subject really quickly.
Sorry, I can't hear what you're saying. Did your power go off again?
It's fine. He knows.
Okay, I think we're going to ignore Hayden for the rest of this podcast. Moving on. We have some predictions for this week. Part 2 of our predictions. These are going to be more player/manager related. But before we get into them, though, I do believe there are 2 matters we need to address. We would normally have a World Cup to be talking about right now, but that's going to be moved to November and December.
Whoa.
But that doesn't mean we did not have any international football take place over this off-season.
Oh,
So
yes,
I believe
sir.
congratulations are in
ladies.
order to England, who have won the England women's national team, who have won England's first senior trophy in the last 66 years, as well as Banyana, who have won their first Women's African Cup of Nations after being runners-up five times since 1995, I think. So congratulations.
Yeah, let's
We
go.
need a
home.
vuvuzela,
Bring it
guys.
home.
I mean,
You know, I actually
least
watched
they
that.
can win.
that
Yeah,
game.
no,
Finally come home.
they're showing
They scored-
they're
they
showing
scored
the
some bangers.
men's teams how to get it done.
I mean,
And they were playing
yeah.
in Morocco, bro. They were doing the things.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you look how good the United States women's team is, and how shut the men's team is, and then the same thing for South Africa. It's like crazy.
Same thing for England.
Can't compete, bro. Can't compete.
Same
I mean,
thing for England.
How poetic was
Except
it?
the 21s are also good.
How poetic was it that the men's national team lost a final being captained by a Spurs player, and the women's national team won a final being captained by an Arsenal player?
I saw that post. That post is just
Wow.
I mean,
You're
I think
about
that
all
proves
metrics, bro.
that-
That's an.
they're
interesting stat,
still not
kids.
playing Champions League. I tell you that. So I don't know what to say.
I mean, it's just the history of the Tottenham. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to say before we get into the predictions? Judging by Hayden's yawn, that's a no.
Nah.
So let's get into the Golden Boot race. I think we started with Dan last time. So let's go to you, Luke. Who's your pick for the Golden Boot?
That's a good question. Let me just get my-
2023 Premier
All right,
League
gents.
season.
Okay. In my heart. No, in my head. I was like, it's going to be Salah. You know? In my head. But I mean, obviously Hayden's going to explain why he believes it's going to be Salah. So I decided to not necessarily be quirky, but I decided to go with what my heart said. And my heart
But you're not like
said
other
Harry.
podcasters.
Huh?
You're not like other podcasters. You're different and quirky.
No, bro. I'm quirky, bro. I've got to have a hot
He's gonna
take.
try and explain
you know?
to us what's a hot take. I was just about to say it. He's gonna try and convince us that this is a hot take.
It's not a hot take.
He's
guys.
gonna tell
It's
us
not a
it's
hot take.
Haaland, and he's gonna be like, guys, hot take right here. Haaland's
It's not a hot
first
take,
season.
guys.
Oh my word!
It's not a hot take.
But go on.
But it's
Tell us it's Haaland.
It's not Holland. It's another guy
Kane.
that starts with an H. It's the English Haaland. Harry Kane.
Harry Kane.
Hazard.
Luke, bro.
I think
Been
it's going to be my
indoctrinating
boy.
you ever since you've been on this podcast, Luke. You just better
Listen,
announce
gents,
it now
you-
that you're a Tottenham fan.
Brother,
It's
I don't know,
time,
gents.
Luke.
It's
It's
like
time. It's time.
my man has got the quality. That second half of the season, last season, gave me good indications that he's going to be popping off the season. You've got the Spurs, with the Spurs reinforcements. I think with Richarlison, I think that's going to definitely add to it. Sonny was on fire. It's probably going to be one of them again, personally, but I honestly just feel like it's going to be Kane again. I think he's, for some reason, with like last season, it was more like a mentality thing because the City thing didn't work out and I think the vibes weren't there, but I think now he's a little bit more clear-headed, I think, and they've got a bit more of a solid game plan. I think that's what he's generally been lacking, but he's still been the Golden Boot winner even without that like clear path to follow, and now that he has that, I think it's just going to take it to the next step. So obviously it's going to be quite good this season. I think there's definitely a few contenders, but personally, I think it's going to be my boy Kane. Like I said with Tottenham, bro, same as Madrid. They're gonna concede 15, but they're gonna score 17. So it's vibes. Like, it's fine. It doesn't matter. And who's gonna score the 17? Probably Sonny and Kane. So yeah, that's honestly who I think is gonna do it this season.
So Harry Kane,
It's not
back at the top of the mountain, top of the pile.
I'm glad
in terms
that you're
of
able to
scorers in the
recognise
Premier
that.
League.
Agua, guys. We need to drink some water.
Whoa, Luke. We're not
Really-
sponsored by Coke.
Really dark looking water there, Luke.
Don't bring it out.
Here we go, guys. Agua.
There we go. Just like Ronaldo, swapping out Coke for water.
Yes, guys. It's not good for you.
Hayden,
But yeah, guys, that's me.
Yes.
I think you were the only one of us last season who did not correctly predict the Golden Boot winner. So, will you redeem yourself this year?
Yeah, because I'm going to choose Salah, who always delivers. And I mean, considering the strength of the Liverpool squad, he seems to be on fire. He was involved in all of the goals scored in the Community Shield. He, hopefully, he's not going to have the whole contract issue thing weighing on him for the season. So hopefully that will help spur him on. And also, he's not playing in the World Cup, so he will get a nice rest in the middle of the year, and I think that might be pivotal. Though the flip side of that is he might get, hopefully he doesn't get rusty because he's not going to be playing football during that month. But I think, rest, ability to recharge, he'll probably hopefully get back in his stride quickly after such a break. I think it's pretty obvious.
Do you not think that the contract thing could indirectly be a negative thing? Because now he's like, I've got my contract. There's not really anything that I have to prove, or
True.
I've got the bag. Can chill out.
No, I think Salah's a professional, and I think that he will do it for himself. He's not necessarily going to do it to get more money.
So then how is the contract weighing on him then, if he was doing it for himself?
No, because I think when you have certain contractual disputes going on, and you're engaging with the club, you don't know if you're still going to be there. It's just the entire paradigm.
I'm just pulling your leg.
I'm just becomes destabilized.
by all metrics, that is a horrible take there, Dan. By all metrics, bro. It's a solid take, hey, honestly, that was what my head said.
So
The one
trust
guys,
him more often.
we're doing it.
we've gone pretty chalk so far with Kane and Salah. Dan, you went with a bit of a rogue shout last year, and it actually ended up coming off. It's probably the best prediction we made last season, with you picking Son with the Golden Boot.
Yeah, I know. Quality pick for myself. I'm going to toot my own horn here, and I think I'm going to go for 2 seasons in a row, and I'm going to go for my big man, Harry Kane. I think Luke was on the right wavelength there, and you check on the YouTube viewers can see the shirts here. They can see the white shirts there. It's coming to London yet again. Coming to North London.
Yeah, an individual trophy because no North London club can do anything as a team.
But I mean, why,
We'll see,
Dan?
we'll
Is it the same reasons that I mentioned? Or is there something?
It's the same reasons you mentioned, and just Harry Kane's got so much quality. We've known that from day one. And the thing is, with Antonio Conte being with Tottenham for the entirety of the season, it's no longer going to be Jose Mourinho park the bus that's been holding us back in the last 2 years. We won some games under Jose, but just we obviously didn't score that many goals. We got 1-0 wins or whatever, like that. But now with Antonio, it's going to be lots of progressive, forward-thinking play. So there will be lots of goals being scored. And when it comes to Tottenham, there's only one man that's being a part of all those goals, and that's Harry Kane. Fact.
Beautiful.
Okay.
I
This guy says
recently
Martial. I'm logging out.
saw the stat where it was that since Conte took over last season, Kane's been at the top of the league in expected goals, expected assists, big chances, so big chances that he's been on the end of, and then big chances created as well. He's been at the top of the league in all 4 of those stats, which is ridiculous.
What did Hayden say? By all metrics?
There we go.
This is going to be a thing now, by all metrics.
I mean, we're going to continue the theme of metrics with my pick because I've done some maths for this one. Okay.
Whoa.
So you guys taking it back to Mrs. Matthews' class. We're doing some maths here. So, in 2019-20, okay, which was the season where Gabriel Jesus played as a striker for Man City. The reason I've used that season is because in the past few seasons he's played more as like a winger. So in 2019-20, Jesus had 0.79 non-penalty expected goals per 90. Okay, so he's getting 0.79 non-penalty expected goals per 90. That means over the course of a 38-game season, he would have scored 32 goals. Okay, but of course, like, you're not going to expect someone to play 38 games, obviously, and especially not like 90 minutes for 38 games. So say he doesn't play 8 games, but then also on the other hand, Jesus wasn't on penalties, Haaland probably will be, so we'll give him penalties as well. So say he misses 8 games, but also gets like 4 penalties throughout the season, that's 28 goals. And if Haaland scores 28 goals this season, like, he's almost definitely going to win the Golden Boot. So basically my reasoning is Haaland is an unbelievable finisher playing in a system that churns out chances for their strikers. So I think it just has to be Haaland. Like, there's obviously going to be an adjusting period. He's going to have to get used to playing in the Premier League. He didn't look quite up to speed in the Community Shield. I did only watch the highlights.
Up to speed is
I don't think he was that bad. I mean, the miss at the end made it seem worse than what it was, in my opinion. But yeah, I suppose he definitely wasn't.
I think his positioning was kind of tragic. I didn't know where to stand. He was like running around like a novice. But I guess, you know, like Man City's positioning is like 400 RQ, so he has to like fold into the mix there eventually. So
true, yeah. Like I said, I only watched the highlights, so.
I thought you were gonna say Gabriel Jesus, bro.
Dude, I was also like
a bagging season.
I was also
for a moment there. I was like, "Hey, yo,
and I was
Zach,
like,
bro,
you know
don't
what,
you dare!"
Zach? I think this is the moment you jump the shark.
I mean, it would be a pretty good hot take, but I just don't think Jesus is a good enough finisher to ever be in.
He's also at Arsenal. Can we also just acknowledge that? No one at Arsenal is going to be doing the things.
You said it better than I could have ever said it, Hayden.
I don't know, gents. He's going to be up there this season.
I think Arsenal might surprise some people on the podcast this season. I would definitely not be surprised if they finish ahead of United. I think at this point, I'd expect them to finish ahead of United.
As Hayden says, it's
Well
just
then.
pre-season. It's just pre-season.
Yeah, I put no stock into preseason.
I would have said that before the preseason. Like, they played well last season. They bottled Champions League, to be honest. But then they have made some pretty decent signings. I think Arteta's getting better as a coach. I think we're probably a bit too harsh at him at the beginning of this podcast, or beginning of like when we started recording this podcast, when we were calling for him to be sacked. I think he's definitely gotten better.
Okay, boys, let's get into the next predictions. Let's start pumping them out.
I'm just here to hate, guys.
I mean, we spoke about Arteta, and he could be a potential manager of the year candidate if he can pull Arsenal into their top 4.
What a segue by Zach.
Is he your manager of the year?
Well, Hayden, you've only gone and said it. My manager of the year prediction is Mikel Arteta.
You lying?
Okay.
Really, Zach?
No, it's not actually. I'm continuing the Crystal Palace hype train, and I'm going with Patrick Vieira. Like I said on the last podcast, Crystal Palace severely underperformed their expected numbers. So I think that should progress to the mean. We should see a big improvement from them. He's probably going to improve as a manager as well. He's still quite new and fresh as a manager. I think he's going to get better with every season. So I'm going Patrick Vieira. And also, like, Pep Guardiola is probably going to be the best manager in the league next season. But just looking at Hayden's reaction, Pep Guardiola is definitely going to be the best manager in the league next season. But I think generally manager of the year goes to a manager who manages a lower level team and gets them to overperform.
Yes, sir. Preach it there, Zach. Not like the winning manager always just gets manager of the year by default. That's just ridiculous.
Exactly, dude. So who is your manager of the year pick, Dan?
You know me. I love Crystal Palace. I love Paddy V, but I had to go with like something that's just on my heart and go for the big boy Antonio.
Conte.
Yeah, have to go for Conte. The love for Spurs, especially this season, is immense, and I'm expecting big things. So hopefully the guy delivers, and I see him getting the manager of the year award quite easily. In fact, there will definitely be competition, but I just see him pulling it off for a change, as opposed to just the standard Pep or Klopp, yearly coin toss. So
for a second there, I thought you were saying Mikel Antonio.
No,
like what?
No.
Surprise! He becomes a manager halfway through the season.
Just takes over from David Moyes. I mean, he could be a shout here as well. But Hayden, who have you got as your manager of the year?
So
who else, Hayden? Does he happen to be somewhat vaguely associated with Liverpool? I don't know.
I'm just here, as I previously said, to hate on everyone else and to support Liverpool. So, considering in conjunction with my prior prediction that Aston Villa is going to be Conference League or making Europa League, I'm going to put Steven Gerrard on this list. Steven Gerrard is just amazing. He can do no wrong. He's a god amongst men. What do I need substantive reasoning? Probably. Am I going to give substantive reasoning? No. So, yeah.
Okay. Interesting take. I think Steven Gerrard could be on a bit of a hot seat at the end of the season. Considering the money Villa has spent and their need to see some results. I think the only saving grace is the fact that he's not been there very long. But I don't know.
I believe.
That could just be the Man United fan in me. But Luke, who have you got as your manager of the year?
Lampard.
I'm joking.
He's
going to do the impossible.
I'm joking, gents. Nah, I actually started off with the hot take because my actual answer is a little bit boring. I don't really put too much thought into this. I think I said Klopp. My man's going to pump out another good season. Okay. He's going to get manager of the month like there's no tomorrow. Liverpool's going to cook. He's going to be securing cups. He's already started like that. Was he the manager of the season last season?
It was probably Guardiola
was
because City won the league.
Was it Pep?
Yeah.
Okay. I said Klopp. I think that he's doing the things, personally. Unfortunately,
is David Moyes the manager of West Ham?
Oh, no. I was wrong.
Yeah.
Jurgen Klopp was the Premier League manager of the year last year.
Look at that. And I think he's going to do it again, bro. The team's stronger. They've got some reinforcements. They're gelling nicely together. Preseason looks good. It's going to happen again.
I honestly think West Ham deserved a shout in there.
See, I think West Ham
was actually really great. I mean, they dropped off towards the end of the year, but at the start, they were just everyone was scared of them. Took City out of the Caraboa. Yeah.
What if it's going to be my boy from Newcastle, who I'm backing with my life for next season?
I think West Ham will regress a bit, Dan. I think it's incredibly difficult to keep
but I'm saying
in that top
when it comes
6
to
level.
A team that did well last year, and particularly a manager that made big things happen for his club. I think is it David Moyes that manages West Ham? I think he did a splendid job. But like we were saying, Premier League, it's essentially the number 1 or 2, and their manager, bam. I mean, in theory it makes sense, but it would be nice if they, just made the award more appealing to managers of lower teams that have just done really well.
True.
But hey, you never know.
It should be the manager that's got his team to overperform the most.
Yeah.
Hayden, let's start with you this round. Because now we're moving into the transfer section of our predictions. We're going to be talking about transfers at a positive note. Who do you think is going to be the best transfer of the summer/winter?
This is it's a pretty difficult question.
That's why we were all wrong last season.
Yeah, no, not only because I've not overlooked this particular category when I was initially formulating
I mean, Hayden,
predictions.
how many new players has Liverpool signed? Just come on, Hayden.
Just choose one of them. Yeah.
I mean, I could always just say Darwin Núñez because Darwin Núñez is, a vibe. And he's already scoring goals against Manchester City. But I don't know. I'm thinking, what's the name of the guy that Chelsea just secured for defense? Koulibaly. I think he could be a good shout in. Throwing up the defense there, Chelsea, doing the things.
Not Jules Koundé.
Koulibaly.
Yeah, Koundé is at Barca. Like every other Chelsea target.
I saw a video on Twitter, and it was like a Arsenal TV, and they were like there sitting there like, you know what, Chelsea could be actually pretty crazy this season, with Koundé and Rafinha, and they just looked at each other and just started laughing.
Guys, you know what's gonna happen in the next 3 seasons is the Barcelona is gonna go bankrupt, and they will go into administration as a club, and they'll be playing like League 2 or whatever you call it, La Liga version 2 or whatever. I'm calling it now. That club is. They are pulling money from thin air.
I do not know where they're getting their cash from, honestly, Hayden. And you're the lawyer, so if you don't know, no one knows.
I think it's like Frankie de Jong is also saying he's not being paid, and like they're not paying their players, and so that's part of the reason why de Jong can't leave Barcelona is because if he leaves, they have to pay him out of his contract, and they can't afford to do that. So I don't understand what is going on in the finances of that club.
I mean, you spoke of Barcelona going bankrupt. Bordeaux, which is a club in France, they've gone bankrupt recently, and they're still waiting on 8 million, I think it's like 8 million euros from Barcelona for a player that they sold them, that Barca just aren't giving them.
Right.
And that money would help them, like, basically stay in business. So they're this is not just like Barcelona screwing themselves over, they're literally screwing other clubs over as well.
There's something deeply corrupt going on at Barcelona at the moment.
Dude.
And then they want to bring Messi back. Like,
it's going to be like
I would stay.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's going to be like a scandal documentary on Netflix pretty soon, the next 5 years.
It's going to be a whole thing. Like, if I was any player, I would avoid Barcelona like the plague. Like, there's something so fishy going on there. So, in my mind, those players must know something, because no way are they deliberately going to a club that they think will be bankrupt in the next 5 years. There's something going on there.
It's called football heritage, Hayden. It's called football heritage, bruv.
It's called corruption.
Madrid and Barca have that pool that nobody else has. Nobody, bruv.
I can't believe you're here. What?
We got that pool, bro.
I would say La Liga is the most corrupt league, but I mean, Serie A exists.
Exactly.
Yo, please, Luke, don't get Hayden started, please.
Yeah, it's all good, bro.
I mean, Luke, while we have you, who's your best transfer of the summer / winter?
Okay, I know I got charged last episode for contradicting myself. But
Look, you didn't even make sense.
Hayden's waiting. My best transfer, I strongly believe, is going to be Gabriel Jesus at Arsenal this season. I don't think he's going to be I don't think he's going to be the golden boot, but I think he's going to do the things. He's already shown he's like slotted in nicely. My man is adapted. He's playing the Arsenal way. Arsenal as a team in general are playing really nicely, and I think he's going to make the big difference. Like, coming from Lacazette, who was barely even there, bro. Like, what was that bro doing? Like, when last did you see Lacazette play?
He was just riding that bench. Eh?
What the hell? I think Saka's going to be crazy. Martinelli's back. Odegaard is doing the things. Arsenal, they're going to play some decent football this season, and I think that's mainly going to be because of my boy Gabriel Jesus. Yeah. So I think that's
only
definitely
decent.
The best transfer.
Arsenal never plays great football. Yeah. It's only ever just decent.
They play some. I think they have the potential now really to get things going. And I think that was definitely a power move from them, because he was linked to some other club, like wasn't it? I forgot which club, but I didn't expect him to go to Arsenal. They got the deal done. Barcelona. I don't think it sorry?
Barcelona.
Really?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying, probably.
I think he was linked to Spurs at a time, but I mean, I never thought he would go to Spurs. From being a bench player at City to being a bench player at Spurs. Yeah. That just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, bro. So I think he's definitely gonna make a really big difference, and I think he's what's cool for him is that he's gonna be playing in the role that he enjoys, and he's going to be playing regularly. So I think that's going to make the difference. So that's my transfer of the season.
Can I change mine? I want to change mine to Sterling. I think Sterling at Chelsea. In that
Too late. Hayden, look at yourself. Uttering Raheem Sterling's name from your mouth. How could you? We thought you were a Scouser.
Player. Every single
such a fake fan, bro.
has a connection to Liverpool.
Yes. Even bad connections. No, but I think actually now that I think about it, I mean, Sterling playing within Chelsea's system under Thomas Tuchel, I think a system that will suit him. With I think maybe being at a more hospitable and amenable environment, I think he can do wonders. He's still a really good player.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Hayden, I appreciate you more for changing your pick to that. I think Sterling is an under the radar pick. You know, even being like as big of a player as he is, I don't think people are like thinking that's going to happen. Mainly because Chelsea's just getting clowned on in the transfer window. So they're just like the center of all football memes at the moment. But I think Sterling's a solid pick. My pick, however, is going to go for something more statistical and something that I've just recently seen on a ZMC Productions video. I'm going to go for the young King J Lings. I think that was like 400 IQ, big brain play. I think Nottingham Forest have got themselves a peach of a player there. I think that's the best transfer of the season.
That's the weirdest transfer I've ever seen in my life, bro.
Yeah. Maybe not like he's going to score major goals, but I just think as an impact on a team, J Lings is going to be like by far the biggest.
I don't know why he didn't go back to West Ham. My man was literally working wonders there.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
It's a little bit more assured to stay in the Prem than flipping Nottingham.
The thing is, it's only a 1 year. It's only a 1 year deal.
True.
He can go to Nottingham, try and be like the star man there, resurrect his reputation,
raise up his price.
Yeah, and then next season he's on the market again. So if he does well, Nottingham stay in the Prem, and he gets to go somewhere else and get a better contract. If it doesn't go well, it's only a 1 year deal. Nottingham go down, and J Lings looks for a new club. Maybe he goes back to West Ham next season. So it's a risk, but I don't think it's that big of a risk.
What did you have, Mr. ZMC?
See, I also had Jesse Lingard.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just joking. I had a different Nottingham Forest player.
Ericsson. What should be Ericsson?
For Nottingham Forest.
No, man. Best transfer.
Yeah, well, I'm saying my best transfer also plays for Nottingham Forest. I didn't want to go with Haaland or Sterling, because I think those two will probably end up being the best transfers. But I've actually gone for Taiwo Awoniyi, who was a striker. Actually from Liverpool's academy, Hayden. He's a Liverpool academy graduate. You guys sold him to Union Berlin. He helped them finish 5th in the Bundesliga last season, which is pretty good considering I don't know if any of you have heard of Union Berlin before I mentioned them. So there's that.
No, definitely not.
You mean Union Berlin?
Yeah, Union Berlin.
Onion.
I literally take German as a subject. But
Onion Berlin.
Union Berlin, right?
The reason why I love this transfer is because the way Union Berlin played last season was very much the way we expect Nottingham Forest to play, which is very like, you guys have possession, we'll just sit back in our shape and try and counterattack you guys with a lot of speed and athleticism and pace and being clinical. And I think Awoniyi, that's perfect for what Nottingham Forest are going to want to do, especially this first season in the Prem. A lot of counterattack, a lot of pace, a guy who's like a lethal finisher. I think he'll be a big part of Nottingham Forest staying up this season. So I've gone with him.
Okay.
And now we have to move on to the negative portion of the predictions, where we talk about the biggest disappointment.
Zach, were we not going to talk about the best youngster?
We're getting there. Do you want to do youngster now?
Let's do the youngster first, and we can end the podcast with the hot takes. The big disappointments.
Okay. We'll do young player of the year now. We basically said that a young player would be a player that is 22 years of age or under. Okay, and
it has to be their first or second season in the Premier League.
That too, because the way the actual Young Player of the Year award works is it's just under 21 or maybe under 23 players. So like guys like Phil Foden and Trent when he was young, or Dele Alli, like these guys just like clean up the awards when they've been playing since they're like 18. So just to like we can have some fresh faces, some different names coming through. I thought we'd put that those requirements in there. So Young Player of the Year, 22 years old or younger, first 2 seasons in the Prem. Dan, who's your pick?
Gonna go with another Tottenham pick again. I'm gonna go for the big boy, Dejan Kulusevski. My boy Decky. I think like at the end of the season we really saw what this guy was capable of and how much of a steal we got him from Juventus for. So I think he lights it up this season. You know, under Conte, starter from day one. I think he's going to pop off. And I mean, it is technically his second season, but I mean, he was only a January transfer window, so he kind of only had half a season. So, but I think he's going to do wonders.
Great shout. I mean, he was brilliant for you guys the second half of last season. Luke, who have you gone for your best young player?
Bro, now that you've mentioned that he's only been playing for like a season or two, kind of changes things up a little bit. But I went with Saka. I don't know. This is probably his third season, but I mean, like where he's like actually been counted on. You know, like other times I think he's just come off the bench or, you know, not really played like a central role. But I had him. I don't know what's going on with Arsenal, bro, but obviously I'm a fan. maybe I had some
been in the league for like
revelations.
3 years.
No, I think he's been playing for like
Saka's 4th season coming up.
This is his 4th season coming up.
Has he been? But he like 4 seasons ago he wasn't playing.
Yeah, he is 20. So we'll give that to you, Luke. You know.
So he played 26 games when he was 17, 32 when he was 18, and then 38. He never played in every Premier League game last season.
Yeah, I mean honestly,
crazy.
like
What?
you can have that pick.
And it paid off.
If you're asking me.
It paid off.
Those are ridiculous numbers for someone so young.
Yeah.
My boy's doing.
Arsenal's squad is
the most.
weak.
Yeah, gents, I couldn't think of anyone else more deserving. You know, I love Foden, but I just don't have that feeling with him for this upcoming season. Unfortunately, I think when he does play, he's going to be fire.
I think
Might
Foden's
be
like
22.
21?
For Foden
22?
is 22.
22. Okay.
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 Same age as Kulusevski.
Kulu. Yeah, gents, that's how it's going to be.
How old is
Bukayo.
Harvey Elliott, Hayden?
I'm
How
glad
old
you
is
know. Actually,
Eddie?
but seriously, guys, I do think, like, in all seriousness, that it's going to be Harvey Elliott. I mean, if we look at age as a factor as well, the dude's 19, and I think he's going to get a lot more. He was going to get a lot more first team exposure last season, but then he broke his leg, and I think obviously this season is going to do that. And I think he's extremely talented, and I think with the way he couples up with Salah, it is something it's a delight to see. And so I think with that synergy, he will very much earn his place. If not the best, then really one of the best. But because I'm a Liverpool stan, I'm gonna say Harvey Elliott.
I back it. Yeah, I think he's a really good player, Harvey Elliott. And like you said, I think he would have had his breakout season last season, but it might have just been
essentially
delayed.
broke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
So for my pick, I've gone with Mikael Olise, aka Michael Olise from Crystal Palace. I'm just going all in on Crystal Palace this season. It seems like it. I think he's 21. He had his breakout season last year, but he managed to stay healthy. Playing for Crystal Palace, right winger, like really tricky, skillful. I think that last season was kind of him getting his feet wet, and then this season is going to really take that next step. And I think some, if not like very big, at least like more regular mid-table clubs are going to be looking at him going into next season. An interesting fact about him, he actually qualifies to represent 4 national teams. So England, France, Nigeria, and Algeria.
Damn,
So-
he's the Mr. Worldwide, bro.
Mr. Worldwide. Mikael Olise.
Yeah. Now I like you doubling down on Palace there, Zach.
I might be tripling down.
Tripling
Let's see.
Biggest disappointment as well.
Did Haaland not come to mind for you with potentially being like a best transfer or golden boot, or whatever you said?
Okay, so I had Haaland as my golden boot, but I didn't want to have him as my best transfer as well because just kind of throw more names out there. Yeah, like theoretically I could have Haaland as golden boot, best transfer, and a young player, and like that would be perfectly like fine. But I just wanted to throw some more names out there.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Do we cover everyone's young player? Yes, we have. So now we get to the negative portion of the predictions. We're going to be moving on to biggest disappointment. And I haven't started off a section, so I'm going to start off this one. I'm going to go with Gianluca Scamacca, the Italian striker who just signed for West Ham. I really like Scamacca, actually, when he was at Sassuolo last season. The reason why I think it will be the biggest disappointment is because I just don't think his style of play fits West Ham. I think West Ham need a very particular striker, which is someone that's either like Antonio, just going to be able to create something out of nothing, or a like speedster who can just get in behind and get on the end of counterattacks. And I don't think Scamacca is either of those things. He's a shot monster though. Like he does get a lot of shots off. But then on the other hand, he's playing for West Ham, so I don't expect him to get a lot of shots in the first place. I just don't think... Like, I really like the guy, and we could be seeing like a Sebastian Haller situation where he kind of flops at West Ham, but then does well, like when he leaves. So I kind of hope something like that might happen. Actually, I kind of hope he like does well at West Ham, but I just don't see it at this point.
How are you
Dan,
finding these names, Zach?
It's football heritage, dude.
Yes, sir.
Football heritage.
Honestly, I kind of use this as an opportunity to like talk about a team that I think would like disappoint this season. I can't mention a player who happens to be from the same team.
I mean, we did talk about teams last week.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I will mention the team. I thought Brighton would just disappoint everyone this season. I mean, they had such a good like start to last season, and I think it started falling apart towards the end of the season. I think like the ship's gonna like fully sink this season, unfortunately. But then also a player I think that's been like in the news quite recently is Cucurella. I think it's Mark Cucurella. And I loved him at Brighton. I thought he was just like so solid at the back, but now I just, like with Brighton falling apart, and I think he might end up going over to Chelsea. I think he was being looked at City, but either way, I just think the guy stops playing as much because, I mean, he was like a mainstay in Brighton. But I think it starts with him getting less field time, and then just all falls apart there, and he just ends up riding the bench, either in Chelsea's lineup or in City's lineup. I just see the guy like falling off the radar. But that's why I'd have him as my biggest disappointment.
Do Chelsea even have a scouting department at this point? Or are they just going after like players other clubs go after? It's like who are Barcelona like interested in?
The thing is, people have been hijacking. People have been hijacking their players. So now they're trying to hijack other people's players. They're trying to see if that dynamic works better.
But in all seriousness, Chelsea's transfer philosophy for a very long time has always been to hijack players or to just buy players so that other English clubs couldn't have access to them.
True.
We just hit a sore spot. We just stung Hayden, yeah. He's just reminiscing, yeah, in a bad way. It's traumatized.
Hayden, who have you got as your biggest disappointment?
Dude, I'm my biggest disappointment. We don't have to talk about disappointment. I know that
somehow also Liverpool is
no. I'm going to, because I told you guys I'm here to hate. I'm here to breed animosity and hatred. Haaland is going to be the biggest disappointment this season. I'm telling you guys all now. Not only is he going to miss sitters like he did in the Community Shield, I honestly don't think he's going to be fit enough throughout the entire season with his injury record.
and the number of games that he's going to be playing to be as prolific as everyone expects him to be. And I think that will be the source of the disappointment.
Hayden continues with his streak of not only hot takes, but trash takes as well.
No, but Haaland doesn't have the best injury track record. I think he played a ridiculously low number of games for Dortmund last season, something like that. Actually, what were his stats? Let me just check that.
Dude, I swear he played like at least 30 or 30
We need
something.
to.
The thing is, he does have a bit of a break. He does have a bit of a break because of the World Cup. But yeah, I do feel Hayden. That injury record is kind of scary. Luke, your biggest disappointment?
It's a little bit awkward because it's the opposite of what Hayden's best transfer was. His first pick.
You can say Sterling.
No, Koulibaly.
Oh no.
I thought you were going for Darwin.
Yeah, I don't. Sorry.
I thought you meant Darwin Núñez.
No, we're just joked.
I thought about that. I thought about Núñez, but I think
Luke wouldn't
I think
start a
he's just
fire
gonna-
like that, bro.
Nah, I think he's going to settle down eventually and start doing the things. But with Koulibaly, like especially with basically the whole of Chelsea's backline being sold, I think Koulibaly's kind of old-ish.
31.
31, bro. That's not super old, but for like a high intensity league like the Prem, I think he might struggle. I don't think he's been playing in Italy, hey? So okay, yeah, they're a little bit more defensive there, but I just don't see it. He doesn't for me suit the profile of like a Chelsea defender. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you guys.
How old is SP? How old is SP?
Also 30s, bro. Asby's.
Aspi, him,
Aspi,
Silva. They've got some OGs in the back. Old retirement home there.
30. He's about to turn 33 soon, like in a month's time.
33. So yeah, bro. I don't think he's going to be a horrible transfer, but I couldn't really think of anyone that I could outright just say, I don't think that's going to work out. I don't think that's going to work out too well there, unfortunately. So I don't want to wish anything bad on the homie. I mean, if we're talking about centre backs are going to disappoint, Zach, you know who comes to mind. The Harry we don't want in our team. But I mean, if we're going for transfers, then unfortunately that's the only one that I could put on paper. But it's actually Harry Maguire, guys. Like, that guy's gonna disappoint you from day one. From preseason, this guy's been doing my things already, bro. He's like in preseason, he's doing so badly that like you're not gonna get disappointed when the season starts. You're just gonna be like, oh wait, this is just his like normal form and vibe.
I think
That's who Harry Maguire is.
I think we might have a Harry Maguire redemption tour this year.
Yeah.
I genuinely
I'm also
do.
thinking so.
Okay, so
I
we
think
need to clip this so that when Haaland scores a hat-trick versus Liverpool, we can play this for Hayden. And when Maguire has an absolute stinker week in, week out, we're going to play this for you too, bro.
The thing is, he's been clowned too much. Like, the clowning has gone too far. Like, it's impossible for a player to be as bad as people say Maguire is. Like, it's physically impossible for you to become a professional footballer and be as bad as what people say Maguire is. So,
Bro,
like,
it's pretty bad.
He has to.
It's
bounce
pretty
back.
bad, bro.
I do think the guy's been like clowned way too much. And he can't do anything
There
right
we
at
go,
this point. He could score a hat-trick and then Oaks would be like, but look at his celebration. He looks so awkward.
Exactly. Dude scored a goal.
they'll hit
People
you
are like,
with
oh, well,
he's
you're trash.
He's a defender. Why is he scoring goals?
Exactly.
The fridge head, guys. Throwing it back to episode like 2 of of our first thing.
Yeah.
Episode,
you know?
good days. Good days. Finishing things off on this episode, we have our hot takes. Let's see if we can breeze through them. I'll start off, since we are talking about United. My hot take is that Jaden Sanchez will be Manchester United's best player by the end of the season. I think dude
Is that a hot take?
Okay, well, who would you say Manchester United's best player right now is?
I don't get.
Not Jaden Sanchez.
Okay,
McTominay.
but I mean, I've always expected great things from Sancho. I mean, he was brilliant in Dortmund. So I mean, for him to like play well, even be the best player, doesn't really strike me as something too surprising.
Okay. Best player in the league? Is that spicy enough for you, Hayden?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Jeez, okay. Okay, I mean, with Christian
Whoa,
Eriksen
Zach.
passing to him, like, it's not out of the realms of possibility.
Okay, I haven't quite decided. I'll decide later what the qualifier will be. But Jaden Sancho, I'm expecting a big season from him. I think what I've seen in preseason, dude's on fire. He's He's looking like the Jaden Sanchez we saw at Borussia Dortmund. So I'm keen to see what the season holds for him. Luke, your hot take?
Yes. Perfect timing because Hayden's going to chew me because it's not necessarily a hot take, but as a combination of what you said and what Dan said. Okay, I don't know about Sancho, but I think Eriksen, personally for me, is going to be in the top 3 assisters. Top 3 assisters this season. Obviously, KDB is going to do the things. And second, top 3. So I'm feeling like a second or third in the whole of the Premier League. My man, I think he's going to really start blossoming this season. If he plays, I don't know if is he a starter? Has he been starting like for preseason, or is he kind of? What do you think his plan is?
The thing is, I think he'll do well for United. I just worry about how much game time he plays, because I think United will be a bit cautious with the game time, considering his health situation. So that's the only thing that I think could stop him from being, as you say, in the top 3. It's just how much game time he gets.
My man needs 2 seconds. You can have first touch of the ball, you can swing one into Ronnie, and the guy can hit it. That's an assist. So the vibes are there, and I think he's got like a decent team. He was doing the things with flipping. Who was Brentford? Was he with Brentford last season? For half the season, he was like
single-handedly revived Brentford's season, dude.
Yeah. So he's gonna do it again with United, who are slightly better than Brentford. I think
only slightly.
I don't know. Hey.
As a segue from your take there, Luke, I'm just gonna like add more fuel to that fire. I think Eriksen takes Bruno Fernandes' spot by the end of the season. He puts Bruno on the bench. Hot. That's my hot take. And then just another hot take. I always have to clown on Arsenal. It's just an annual podcast thing. I think Arteta is Pep on Wish. Like a fake Pep. He's trying to be Pep right now, and I think when the season comes around, he's the Pep that you got at home. Not the Pep that you want, the Pep that your mom says is home.
Mom, can you have some Pep now? You got Pep at home, bro. The Pep at home.
I think Arteta, maybe starts off well against some of the lower teams, but then gets clowned on by some of the bigger teams.
So you think he gets sacked?
Nah, not sacked. I think he changes up his game plan halfway through the season, and like stops trying to play like City. Because I think that's what they're trying to do right now in preseason. Is trying to play possession.
That's the man's philosophy.
Yeah.
That's his football philosophy.
Yeah, I think his philosophy takes L's. He's not Pep.
His philosophy takes L's. Hayden, your hot take?
So I was thinking about this, and I'm not sure if it's necessarily a hot take, but I think like Jesse Lingard will get more goals than Ronaldo this season. I was like, that's not really a hot take.
Ronaldo's not going to play.
That's a hot take. That's a steaming, popping hot take.
Where's Ronaldo going to play?
Ronaldo stays in the Premier League, but I'm telling you guys now, Ronaldo's going to be, if he stays in the Premier League, he's going to be hot garbage this season.
He was last season.
But he's going to be even worse this season. He's going to be terrible. So that's why I'm like, it's not really a hot take. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make the hottest of hot takes. I'm telling you now, just because of the nature of fixtures and because I like vibes and I think it's an interesting thing to call. I think at some point this season, Frank Lampard will win Manager of the Month.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
That is the Scoville levels on that take.
Wow.
That's such an out there pick for you, Hayden. I would have never seen it coming. Never.
Wow. Are you being genuine or not?
Frankie.
Hayden, honestly, you had to sneak some crazy Liverpool blood in there. Somehow.
What? Is because it's Everton, and Everton are tangentially related to Liverpool because Merseyside.
It's like every prediction Hayden makes, we're gonna find a way to link it to Liverpool. And then call
honestly, there's no way of avoiding it now. No, but Hayden, that is a surprising pick from you.
I think what will probably happen is they will do poorly, and because of that, there will be reduced expectations, and they'll have a period where they win 3 out of 4 games, and then they'll be like, Frank Lampard resurgence, let's go.
Imagine they beat Liverpool, to have them lose the league. That would just be so poetic. Hayden would be absent for 3 weeks. We wouldn't see him on the podcast ever again.
You know what? I'm going to give another hot take right here. Frank Lampard's going to be their first manager sacked.
That's not a hot take.
I mean,
That's a fortune telling, bro.
That's not a hot take.
okay, but
Hot
it's
take
a
is that he's
prediction.
not the first manager sacked.
That guy's gone. He's so terrible.
He's
such a
winning
terrible
manager of the
manager.
month.
It's late.
He's
He's
such a
going to win
terrible
manager of the month.
Yeah, rubbish.
Nuno's done it before, eh? Nuno, you wouldn't be the first to do it, to win manager of the month and then get sacked in the same season.
Then we're
Thank
gonna
you.
have,
Everton are such rubbish. I'm not looking forward to watching them this season.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe that brings us to the end of our prediction episode. We sincerely hope you have all enjoyed. This time next week we'll have some actual Premier League action to talk about. So we do look forward to that. But yeah, be sure to give us a rating, a review, subscribe if you are new, like the video if you're on YouTube. And until next time, this has been the 2 Cents Footy crew of the 2 Cents Footy podcast. Have a good day.